Wouldn't it be great if you had zero competition?
That would be amazing.
It would suck. Let's find out why. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Neil Winteregg, joined as always by Dr. Greg Winteregg, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development and author of the Amazon best-selling book, Fun at Work.
And today, if you notice, we have the team uniform on.
Yes. Matching shirts.
I did not call Neil and say, hey dude, let's wear our matching shirts today.
That's the problem. We're supposed to do that every now and then. Anyway, wardrobe aside, we've had to have some cutbacks during COVID-19, and our wardrobe person had the week off.
That's
so,
right.
you know, whatever. This week, we're talking about the glorious idea of never having competition for your product.
Would it not be amazing if you had no competition? Like you are the only beauty salon. You're the only barbershop. You're the only dry cleaners. You're the only dude who services the swimming pools or cuts the grass.
The only company that delivers envelopes with stamps on them.
That would be heaven, right? No.
Of course it would.
No. Because what would happen is you would get lazy. There would be no pressure to expand, no pressure to innovate, and we wouldn't be sitting here with Yeti coffee cups if there were no competition in that particular
Well, actually,
sector.
what's interesting is that you have a Yeti and I have a clean canteen, which is two different people vying for our attention and our dollars.
So it is competition that creates innovation. I mean, if you look at what Steve Jobs did, it was competition in the tech industry. That's what drove innovation. And so you can sit back and say, wow, life would be amazing if we had no competition. And I would venture to say that if you have no competition, you would get lazy. If you think about customer service, you really don't need to have any because you're the only game in town. There is going to be no innovation to expand your product line or push your business, to push your executives, to push your staff.
Which actually gets boring.
Then you have a very boring business, very boring game, and you do drugs, get hookers, go to Vegas and lose it all. Yeah, we can leave that out.
You mean like the Wolf of Wall Street?
Exactly.
He had no competition because he was already criminal, and then he had to do something to make life more exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah, there
Exactly.
you go. And I think a good example before we get into how in a small business you don't want competition, but on a larger scale,
Yeah.
I think that the taxi industry is a great example
Yep.
of how for years they used piece of crap cars.
Mm-hmm.
They had high rates.
Yep.
They didn't have an app. They were basically the only option, whether you used a yellow cab, a red cab, or a blue cab. There was no differences between a yellow cab, a blue cab, and a red cab.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, some smart people come along and create Uber, which upsets the entire industry.
Yep.
Because they had an app, which the taxi companies could have done 5 years ago,
Yep.
and Uber would never have been a thing.
And they didn't do it because there was no pressure.
There was no reason to.
There was no reason to. They could just cruise on along, make their money, look at their profit and loss statement, and, you know, not be nice to the cabbies or the customers. There was no innovation. And then what's funny is the people who have no pressure to innovate and don't, as soon as somebody with competition shows up, oh, then they're all up in arms and we got to call our legislator and this is unfair. And it's like, no, you need competition. You need healthy competition that's going to keep you getting up in the morning, keeping the owner awake at night, looking for ways to innovate, better serve the customer, deliver a better product, build the better mousetrap. The only thing that creates that is competition and the pressure of competition.
That's right. And I think in a small business, you're going to say, okay, well, I'm not Uber. I'm not a taxi cab company. How does this apply to me? Because I really don't like having competition when I'm, selling basketballs. Well, the point is, you are your only competition when it comes to selling basketballs because the guy across the street is not really your competition, even if he sells the same product.
Exactly. So then here is the bottom line. Let me tell you how to create a no competition environment. You decide what you are, you decide who you are, and then you just be the best at that in your area, in your zone of influence. So then you just decide, I'm going to deliver it this much better, this much faster. It's not about price. We harp on this. I harp on this all the time. It's not about price. If you're going to compete on price and you want to be the cheapest in the area, you're probably also going to be the brokest. Because trying to compete on price, what you do then is you have to cut service, you have to cut quality, you have to make it cheaper. And so what you're doing then, if you're only competing on price, you're swimming with the sharks. For me, if you're going to compete on service, customer service, quality of the product, the speed of how you deliver it, you have no competition because everybody else thinks it's about the money. And it 100% is not about the money.
That's right. It's about how you provide that service to them. So competition is good because it keeps you thinking, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you finding ways to continue to provide a better product, to continue to maybe provide it at a better price, whatever it might be. But having that competition is what creates that. Mm-hmm. And if you can't innovate, then you're not going to make it very long.
Well, and my son Vince moved from Virginia to Florida. He had a successful kitchen remodeling company up there. And for family reasons, they moved to Florida. Now he's at zero. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody's ever heard of him.
He has no recommendations in this
No
state.
recommendations at all. And he talked to 2 realtors and said, that's a great business to be in. All you have to do to succeed is 2 things. First of all, return phone calls. This industry is notorious for not returning phone calls. Secondly, do what you say. And Vince has a successful business. So if you look at it, all you have to do to compete in your industry is probably the exact same thing. Return your calls, service the customer, and do what you say or better. Like they pay for a dozen donuts, you give them 13 kind of a concept. And that's all you have to do because everybody else is competing on price. And how are they competing on price? They're not hiring enough people. They're hiring the cheapest people. They're delivering the cheapest product. And all you got to do to have no competition is just do the opposite of them. And then you really don't have any competition. And all your innovation is going to be in the direction of providing a better product, a better service at a higher quality than everybody else. And all of a sudden, guess what? You got your dream. I have no competition.
And if you're scared about what we're saying, if you're like, no, that can't be true, whatever, well, stop holding yourself back from disconnecting from certain customers or upping your prices or whatever it might be. And you'll find out that when you start to do that and you start to innovate and you start to actually sell your product for what it's worth and increase the value of what you provide, all of a sudden your business is going to do better, but most importantly, you're going to do better.
Yep.
You're going to have more fun doing what you do. It's going to be fun to get out of bed in the morning. It's going to make things exciting. And you have to be the motivation that makes you achieve those goals, not the guy across the street who sells the same product that you do. It has to come from within yourself to be able to make that happen. And then all of a sudden, you will have fun at work and it will be worthwhile.
Take this to heart. If you want to have no competition, don't sit there and hope that everybody else goes out of business so you have no competition. No, if you want to have no competition, just find out how to make yourself more different, better, higher quality, faster service. Just look at what their weaknesses are and exploit them, and then you will have no competition.
So hope that helps. If you learned something new, type in your comments down below, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We do 3 videos a week of all sorts of business education, and we want to just see you reach your goals. So we'll see you next time.